Hi guys, Trevor Swenson with Through the Darkness. Wanted to talk a little bit more about my personal journey with PTSD and things that I'm learning along the way, real time. As you know, if you've been following me, I've been trying to do a real time account of my journey with PTSD and everything that comes with it, all of the challenges, all of the disappointments, the victories, the treatment, the therapies, medications, everything. I try to cover everything in hopes of helping those people that are struggling like I am with PTSD and in hopes of overcoming and healing with time. I want to talk today about the powerful first step. And I've touched on it a couple of times in past videos and talked about how important I thought it was and the number of times that my actions have been honored. The first step out of fear, the first step out of uncertainty, the first step out of stubbornness, whatever it might be that's keeping you from taking that first step. I just wanted to share with you something that happened earlier this month. And there was somebody that had reached out to me that was walking through quite a bit. And one of the things that I have been able to tell you and to be confident when I tell you this thing, it's that when the fact that I have PTSD is a catalyst or is a reason that somebody reaches out or I'm able to help somebody, it is easily the most healing and most powerful and positive thing about having to experience and try to overcome PTSD. And this person opened up to me and was very transparent in what they were walking through and what they were struggling with. And like many conversations that I have with people that have PTSD or are struggling with unresolved trauma, as a rule of thumb, they haven't talked about it to anybody. And my advice to this person was to talk to somebody professionally about it, that it's honoring of your story to talk to somebody about it. And I know that there are people that are watching this channel that are family, that are friends, that are relatives, and are loved ones of people with PTSD and are people that have PTSD. And the first step is so important, and it doesn't matter how big the first step is. What matters is that it's purposeful and that it's going in the right direction. And I really believe that you will see a domino effect of things happen when you choose to do that. Back to this person that I was talking to that ultimately ended up reaching out to a professional. They had an initial paperwork that had to be completed, and I got a text message after the paperwork was completed that it was one of the most freeing and liberating and healing things that this person had done in addressing this unresolved trauma, this unresolved stuff that they had not talked to anybody about and had carried around, and it was affecting their health. It was affecting a lot of things in their life. And I just had to smile because it was another example that I can add to a long list of not only my own experience, but the experiences of others, that taking that first bold, powerful first step in addressing what you haven't addressed and you know you need to address, it's an amazing thing to watch all of the things fall into place. Now, is it a guarantee that everything is going to fall into place and you're going to find healing within 7 days and all of these miracles are going to take place? No, not necessarily. But I will tell you that if you do nothing about it, and if you continue to stuff your unresolved trauma, if you continue to not talk about your story, that's where it's going to stay. And it's going to eat away at you, and it's going to affect your life for not the better. It is going to affect your life for the worse. And so I ask you to challenge yourself to take that powerful first step and to talk about it with somebody that you trust deeply, or to get professional help. It really, really makes a difference. And I go back to the most obvious step that I took. There were smaller ones prior to this that led me to this particular point, but it was checking myself into Recovery Plus and doing the long assessment that they do, and the therapist saying, I really truly believe that this is not, the alcoholism is not what is driving all of your problems. I've seen this before. I've been doing this for decades, and I really feel that you need to be assessed for post-traumatic stress disorder. And lo and behold, that very scary step of checking myself into a facility, which I never would have thought it in a million years that I would ever do, was the single most important step in getting the correct diagnosis, the correct doctors, the correct therapists, and the correct path to addressing PTSD in my life. And so I just wanted to share with you that I know it is not just me specifically, that first steps have been so powerful and have been honored and have been rewarded. I have seen, I have heard, I have helped people with that first step. And I just challenge you to think about very deeply, because you know exactly what it is that is holding you back from taking that first step and talking to somebody about what's really been heavy on your heart and has been affecting your quality of life. You know exactly what it is. If it's a parent, if it's a bad relationship, if it's a death, if it's a tragedy, if it's an accident, whatever it is that you haven't been able to shake, and it has been impacted you for the worse, and is nagging and is always there, and is detracting from the life that you have to live in front of you. I just challenge you to take that powerful first step and to make that phone call to talk to somebody, because it really does work. And I believe, and I'll end with this, I believe we serve a very, very good God. I believe that you are loved beyond any love that you could ever comprehend. I believe that there is grace for your situation. I believe that regardless of what has happened, regardless of your part in it, that there is a God that loves you, that is full of grace, that wants to walk you through exactly what it is that has been holding you back. In the Bible, I just heard this the other day and I thought it was awesome. I wanted to share it with you. In the Bible, it says that we are more than conquerors through Christ. And the phrase more than conquerors struck me in a really funny way as I was listening to this man talking about being more than a conqueror. Being a conqueror means that you overcome PTSD or you overcome your unresolved trauma. I pray that you become more than a conqueror through Christ, which means that you turn around and you go back into the fight for somebody else, which is my main motivation in doing this. As difficult as it has been to walk through all of these chapters and all of the pain and rehash everything that has been painful and has caused so much torment in my life, I know that I have been more than a conqueror in many ways, and I know that that is honoring to my story. And I wish nothing more for you than to also be more than a conqueror. Take that first step, start the conquering process in the PTSD or trauma that you have in your life, and then enjoy and embrace the opportunities that you will have to help other people as well. You are not alone. I am not alone, and I wish you all the best. Please click and subscribe. Pass this message on to somebody that might need that extra nudge to get over the stubbornness or the fear or whatever it is that's holding them back from getting professional help. And join me next time for another topic. I can't wait to be with you. This is Trevor Swenson with PTSD Through the Darkness. I'm glad you were with me.